You know that moment when you catch a woman looking at you from across the room. You wonder what's going through her mind. Here's the thing most guys miss. It's not about your looks or your bank account. There are 8 specific psychological triggers that can make her think about you obsessively, even if you literally just met. And once you understand these, you'll start recognizing when it's happening to you. Women's brains are wired to replay certain types of interactions over and over again. It's not conscious. She's not sitting there deciding to think about you. Her mind just goes there. And once you understand what triggers this mental replay, you'll start seeing the signs everywhere. First thing that gets her mind stuck on you. You triggered what I call an erotic memory loop. Now, before you think this is all about physical attraction, hold on. Research shows that peak erotic experiences in women are tied to surprise, emotional tension, and yes, the violation of social norms. Did you hold eye contact just a little longer than normal? Did you tease her in a way that created that delicious tension between comfort and danger? That interaction gets emotionally tagged in her brain. She'll replay it without even meaning to, trying to recreate that feeling. Think about it when something disrupts her usual routine of polite, surface-level interactions. Her brain pays attention. It's like when you hear your name called in a crowded room. Suddenly everything else fades. That's emotional tagging at work. And the more unexpected the moment, the deeper it gets filed away in her memory. Second trigger, you embodied unapologetic passion. Here's where most guys get it wrong. They think passion means being aggressive or over the top. But real passion is about presence. When you're completely engaged in the moment, when you're talking about something you genuinely care about, when there's that fire in your eyes that disrupts her emotional balance. And disruption, psychologically speaking, creates curiosity. Her brain wants to understand what makes you tick. Women are drawn to men who aren't performing for approval. You know that guy who gets so absorbed talking about his work project or his weekend hiking trip that he forgets to monitor how he's coming across. That intensity is magnetic. It's the difference between someone who's trying to impress and someone who's genuinely living their truth. The third trigger is huge. You tapped into her core fantasies. Romance writers have figured out something that most men haven't. There are certain male archetypes that bypass a woman's logical mind and go straight to her imagination. The mysterious guy who's hard to read, the confident man who doesn't need validation, the emotionally intelligent one who sees things others miss. When you embody one of these archetypes, naturally not as an act, but as part of who you are, you enter her fantasy world. And once you're there, good luck getting out. This isn't about playing a character. It's about understanding that women have rich inner lives filled with romantic possibilities. When you naturally align with one of these deep-seated attractions, you become part of her story before she even realizes it's happening. Fourth, you defy the sexual script. Most interactions between men and women follow predictable patterns. Guy approaches, tries to be charming, asks for her number, hopes for the best. But women's desire is way more complex and environmentally triggered than we think. When you break the mold, maybe you're the guy who's genuinely curious about her thoughts, instead of just her availability, or you challenge her perspective in a respectful way. You stand out. Research shows that women's attraction often gets sparked by unpredictability. Within safety, you're not the usual nice guy who agrees with everything. But you're also not the jerk who dismisses her completely. You occupy this interesting middle ground that her brain wants to figure out. You're probably missing the number one sign she's into you. I put together a cheat sheet called 25 Forbidden Signals. She's secretly into you. It breaks down the cues. Eye shifts, voice changes. Little moves she makes when she's hoping you'll notice. Use it next time you're out. Or even texting links in the description. Don't miss it. Fifth trigger, you evoked her primal brain. Here's something fascinating from evolutionary psychology. Female desire evolved around novelty, excitement and social cues. The part of our brain that decides attraction isn't the same part that thinks through pros and cons. It's ancient, it's fast, and it responds to very specific triggers. When you create genuine novelty, not tricks or games, but real intrigue, through layered conversation or slight unpredictability, you're tapping into attraction systems that are older in civilization. Her rational mind might not understand why she's thinking about you, but her primal brain knows exactly what it's doing. Sixth, you balanced vulnerability with strength. This one's tricky because most guys go too far in one direction. Either they're completely closed off or they overshare, trying to create connection. But when you hint at depth, maybe you mention a real challenge you faced, or share something meaningful without losing your composure, it creates this psychological tension that's incredibly compelling. Women are attracted to complexity in men, not drama or instability, but genuine depth. When you show you've got layers beneath the surface, while maintaining your strength, it activates something psychologists call erotic conflict, the tension between what's revealed and what's still hidden. Seventh trigger, you hit her with psychological ambiguity. When she can't quite figure you out immediately, her brain keeps working the puzzle. Think about why mystery novels are addictive. It's the same principle. Her mind naturally wants to solve the riddle of who you are. This doesn't mean being fake, mysterious, or withholding basic information. It means being genuinely complex, enough that she discovers new layers over time. Maybe you're the serious professional who's also deeply creative, or the quiet guy with surprisingly strong opinions. These contradictions keep her mentally engaged. And finally, number 8, you made her feel something new. People remember breakthroughs, not routines. If your interaction introduced her to an emotion, thought, or possibility she hadn't considered before, you've disrupted her pattern. Maybe you showed her a different way of looking at something, or you made her laugh in a way that surprised her, or you created a moment of connection she wasn't expecting. This is how you earn what I call mental real estate. When someone makes us feel something we've never felt before, or shows us something we've never seen, our brain files that experience as significant. She'll find herself thinking about that feeling and wanting to experience it again. Bonus trigger, you activated her competitive instincts. Women want what other women want. When you casually mention you're busy or have plans, her brain starts asking who else is in his world. That's social proof, and it hits hard. Say less. A simple "I've got something going on" is enough. The moment she thinks you've got options, you are no longer just some guy trying to get her attention. You're a man other women are trying to claim. That flips a switch in her mind. Now she's the one chasing, "Hey, if this resonated with you, and you want to dive deeper into understanding these subtle signals women send when they're interested, hit that subscribe button." We break down the psychology behind attraction in ways that actually make sense. And once you start seeing these patterns, dating becomes a completely different game. What do you think? Have you noticed any of these signs before?